Hello, everyone. My name is Giscard ASSOUMOU. I'm professor of economics at Omar Bongo University in Gabon. I have been selected for the Best Research Award organized by the International Research Award on Accounting and Financial Management. In this video, we will present the result of two papers in which we analyze the impact of Fed monetary policy announcement on the financial market of developing countries, the case of Middle Eastern and African financial markets. So, why did we decide to conduct such a study? Between 2008 and 2010, one of the distinguishing features of the Federal Reserve monetary policy is the forward guidance of expectation in the sense of persistently low rate and, in general, the lessly practice of highly accommodative conditions to meet national objectives. The problem is that this guidance with respect to domestic objectives also affects international capital flow. In fact, the announcement of tapering by the Federal Open Market Committee will result in shock on emerging market asset prices. In this context, the objective of this presentation is to show the result of two papers in which we analyze this problem, one published in International Economic Journal and the other in research in international business and finance in collaboration with two colleagues, Cécile Bastidon and Bastien Bonijoli. In the first paper, we determine whether the equity market of North African countries with the most advanced financial development, namely Egypt, Morocco, and Tunisia, are affected by this announcement. In the second paper, we perform the same analysis in a sample of 16 countries in the Middle East and African region, comparing results in these countries with those of a benchmark group of Western European economies that have higher level of financial development than the countries in the sample. The literature on the international effect on unconventional monetary policies focused on developing countries is scarce. With regard to the tapering, to the best of our knowledge, there are only two studies involving African economies, Papadamou et al., which cover a sample of 6 African and 9 Middle Eastern countries, and Mézaros and Olson, which focus on a single country, namely South Africa. In this context, our empirical strategy consists of 2 steps. The first step is to construct the alternative announcement effect dummies. The second step of our empirical strategy is to use this alternative announcement effect variable in combination with a set of macroeconomic and financial control variables to test the effect of the tapering on the asset prices of the countries in the sample. Thus, at the first step of the empirical strategy, for the construction of the announcement effect dummy variable, the aim is to identify the tapering announcement that have an unfavorable effect on asset prices. We use stock market prices as a proxy of asset prices in general. For the construction of the first alternative tapering announcement variable, dummy variable, following Mishra et al., we test the individual effect of each meeting and minute realized of the Federal Open Market Committee using daily values of equity market price indexes. At this stage, that correspond to a specific domain. Let's consider the existence of individual effects in the data. We test the following equation 1, where delta Y is the phase difference of the series of domestic equity market indexes and a dummy variable corresponding to a given category of events with a given events window. We return at least one negative and significant coefficient corresponding to an unfavorable events. Our aim is to characterize the effect of restrictive monetary policy announcement, so the sole date with a negative effect are selected to construct the dummy variable of the second stage of the study. Concerning the construction of the dummy variable with the media coverage, as in Salia et al., we rely on the media coverage of Federal Open Market Committee meeting and the corresponding monetary policy decisions. We use the Financial Times as a proxy of the media coverage, since this new paper is one of the most read and used by market participants. In the econometric model, these announcement effect variables are associated with the macroeconomic and financial control variable usually considered in the literature. We include three groups of exogenous variables besides the direct effect of event dummies, the domestic fundamental of the countries of the sample, their interaction with the announcement effect dummies, and a set of control variables of the interaction of the international financial environment. We test the following equation too. The exogenous variable the Y correspond to the first difference in equity market indexes. The vector of exogenous variable include the aggregate dummy variable previously computed by assuming the date corresponding to significant unfavorable effect with the most significant event window, its interaction with domestic characteristic, and the effect and the direct effect of this domestic characteristic. Concerning the result and the discussion, as a reminder, we present the result of two papers. The first analyze the impact of Fed tapering announcement on North African equity markets, and the second concern the impact on Middle Eastern and African financial markets. Regarding result of the first paper, despite a relative low level of financial integration, the result of panel data tests show a significant negative impact of announcement. This result is in line with the literature on the domestic and international announcement effect of the information released by the Federal Open Market Committee. From the perspective of policy recommendation, the study of the interaction of tapering announcement with domestic fundamental show interesting result. Fundamental with favorable direct effect on the equity market dynamic could indirectly increase their vulnerability to announcement effect. Inflation, domestic investment, and commercial openness show significant interaction effect in the opposite signs of their direct effect. Concerning the result of the second paper, we compare the impact of 16 countries of the Middle East and African region with that on three emerging and advancing economies control group. We found that the country under study, despite a lower level of financial development, are also characterized by significant announcement effect. The date of significant announcement are more like Western Europe down to the other emerging economies. Domestic inflation and FDI have the most significant direct and indirect effect. In particular, The direct effect of FDI is favorable, but the indirect effect is unfavorable, as in the literature on emerging countries where financial development frequently increase vulnerabilities to the impact of international monetary policy announcement. Thank you very much for your attention. Merci beaucoup pour votre attention. Akiba Akale Mivebema.